When politics mixes with sport, things get awkward. I mean, look at this poor bloke. No idea what he's doing, possibly at his first ever AFL game, and standing next to him is the Premier of China. And if you think that's a bit harsh, here is the PM singing his beloved team song.
Cheer, cheer the red and the white.
Exactly.
Now the next line.
Cheer, cheer the red and the white. Cheer, cheer the red and the white.
Yeah. Next line.
Oh, you'll have to sing it for me.
I love Victorian fumble ball. Huzzah for the Sydney Pelicans. Huzzah! Now, it's one thing for politicians to try to impress us by pretending to care about sport. But in Australia, politics is treated like it is sport. The content of the policies doesn't matter. It's just a game where both sides are trying to get a win and the news just tells us the score.
This is the win the Prime Minister and Parliament needed.
But it would be a big win.
Notched up some big wins.
The big win.
A big legislative win.
It's a big win.
The Libs had just had a win on school funding and we're heading into this long 6-week midwinter break with some momentum.
Yeah, you know, full credit to the boys. They gave it 110% and, hopefully we'll pick up some versatile crossbenchers in the mid-season draft. At the end of each round, the news counts up the wins and losses and tells us who's had a good or bad week.
Has this been a good week or a bad week for our Prime Minister?
It was not a good week for Bill Shorten.
An unusually bad week.
A disastrous week.
It's been a horror week.
It was supposed to be a horror week for Malcolm Turnbull, but it's been quite the opposite.
How do you turn one good week into one good year?
If you had to say you'd won 51 out of 52 weeks in a year, then you'd done pretty well. So Bill Shorten's had a good year.
Oh, someone's almost finished their Bill Shorten advent calendar. Which door will reveal the surprise chocolate elbow? And then every 2 weeks we find out if there's been any movement on the ladder.
The latest news poll is out and it has Labor slipping slightly.
The latest news poll figures saying they put Malcolm Turnbull back in the game.
Encouraging comeback in the news poll.
The new poll reveals Labor would win if it had a different leader.
And a fresh news poll.
Fresh news poll.
There's a fresh news poll out today.
Ah, news poll. The fresher the better. Have you ever picked one straight from the poll farm? Oh, that's my first preference. And just like sport, we even have washed-up ex-players to act as commentators.
And welcome to Richo for Wednesday night. Great to have you with me.
Coming up on Credlin tonight.
Jackie Lambie.
My name is Ross Cameron.
Great problem with Bishop. How are you, mate?
Fantastic.
For a spin-free view, let's check in with former Victorian Premier Jeff Kennett in Melbourne and former Labor leader Mark Latham.
The spin-free zone with Kennett and Latham may contain 100% spin. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm part of all of this. If politics is like sport, then I'm basically a streaker. You know, I'm not actually involved, I just love the attention. But the way politics is covered makes us experts on the conflict without telling us anything about the content. One study of elections through the 2000s found that poll coverage went from being in only 2% of news stories to being in over a third. And the study also found that stories that were mainly about policy declined by 60%. Or, as the news would cover it, policy stories got smashed in the polls. Understanding policies is harder than ever. I'm meant to vote on the National Energy Guarantee. I don't even understand my electricity bill. It's like 8 miles to the kilowatt. Is that good? Is that good? Sport is about supporting your team regardless of what they do. I know that because I still support Essendon, despite them being humiliated for cheating. They're basically the Barnaby Joyce of the AFL. But politics should be about supporting good policies regardless of the team. And cheering on a team without knowing anything about them, well, that makes you look like an idiot.
Cheer, cheer the red and the white. Cheer, cheer the red and the white.
Yeah. Next line.
Oh, you'll have to sing it for me.
Yeah, let's just ask the Premier of China.